It began on the morning of June 8, 2025, when commercial pilots flying over the Pacific Ocean reported something unlike anything they had ever seen. A massive, motionless shadow stretching for hundreds of miles across the open sea, swallowing sunlight and sky alike. From above, it looked like a continent-sized silhouette cast upon the ocean, but there were no clouds, no storms, and no known astronomical events that could explain it. Air traffic control radars showed nothing unusual, yet every pilot who passed through the region described the same sensation: a sudden drop in temperature, a strange static in their radios, and an eerie darkness that felt almost alive. Satellites captured it too, a region of the Pacific where sunlight seemed to vanish, as if absorbed by something invisible. When the first footage surfaced online, the world erupted with theories. Was it a solar anomaly, a top-secret military experiment, or something otherworldly drifting above the ocean? For nearly 6 hours, the shadow persisted, moving slowly northward against prevailing winds, defying all meteorological explanation. Ships that entered the zone reported compass malfunctions and strange electrical flickers, while underwater sonar detected what sounded like low, rhythmic vibrations echoing from the depths, like the pulse of a massive living being. One cargo vessel, the Pacific Starliner, claimed to have sailed directly beneath the phenomenon. Its captain described the experience in his log. "It was as though we sailed under an invisible ceiling. The sunlight was gone, the air felt heavier, and the sea turned perfectly still. Our instruments froze for 11 minutes. Then, just as suddenly, it was gone." The shadow disappeared as mysteriously as it came, vanishing without trace or ripple. When satellite imagery was reviewed hours later, the area's ocean surface temperature had dropped by nearly 2 degrees, and a faint circular formation appeared in the water, resembling a perfect geometric ring. Government agencies released brief dismissive statements citing sensor errors and optical illusions, yet dozens of pilots, sailors, and meteorologists publicly denied those explanations. Days later, amateur astronomers noticed something strange, a distortion in the atmosphere above the Pacific, like a faint mirage visible even from orbit, warping light around an invisible structure. Scientists from multiple countries began quietly investigating, using atmospheric data, magnetic field readings, and satellite images. The data showed something shocking: a brief but measurable gravitational fluctuation centered over the coordinates of the shadow, as if a massive object had entered and exited Earth's atmosphere. Some theorized it could have been a cloaked craft or even a transient wormhole. Others speculated it was the shadow of something vast, passing between Earth and the Sun, something transparent, yet dense enough to absorb light. Then, new evidence emerged. Deep-sea sensors from an oceanic research array near Hawaii picked up vibrations consistent with a solid mass moving beneath the ocean floor, a mass estimated at nearly 10 kilometers wide. Strangely, it emitted no seismic signature. When researchers cross-referenced the timing, it matched the exact hours the shadow was visible. Conspiracy forums went wild with claims that something had risen from the depths, a massive craft or creature, perhaps ancient, hidden beneath the ocean for millennia. Theorists pointed to ancient Pacific myths, tales of the sky below, a godlike being whose body stretched across the horizon and brought night to the sea. Others connected it to the 1978 Dark Zone reports from the same region, when naval radar had briefly gone offline without explanation. Meanwhile, radar operators in Japan reported transient echoes above the Pacific during the event, returns suggesting a structure roughly triangular in shape, hovering at an altitude of 50,000 feet before vanishing completely. Those echoes were later deleted from official databases, yet screenshots leaked online showed clear data, an object the size of a small island. As the investigation deepened, independent researchers found traces of electromagnetic interference consistent with cloaking or energy shield technology, though no known nation on Earth possesses that capability at such a scale. Could it have been extraterrestrial? The question grew louder when NASA ES Solar Observatory released an image showing a faint shadow crossing the Sun at the exact time of the Pacific event. If that shadow belonged to the same object, it meant whatever caused it wasn't just over the ocean. It was in near-Earth orbit. Then, a week later, something else happened. Strange low-frequency signals began emanating from the ocean floor beneath the same region. They pulsed every 47 minutes, too structured to be random. Submarine microphones recorded the sound, deep, resonant, almost mechanical. Some claimed it resembled the bloop, a mysterious underwater sound first recorded in 1997. But this was stronger, clearer, and repeating. Oceanographers suggested it was tectonic. Others whispered it was communication. By late June, researchers aboard a deep-sea probe sent to the coordinates reported equipment malfunctions and partial system blackouts as they approached the area. Cameras briefly captured what looked like enormous moving shadows beneath the surface, shapes that vanished before focus could be achieved. Then suddenly all contact with the probe was lost. When recovered weeks later by a naval vessel, its hull was warped by intense pressure and heat, far beyond what the ocean's depth could produce. In the recovered data logs, just before signal loss, 3 words appeared in the corrupted transmission header. "They are here." Whether human error, coincidence, or something more, no one could say. Governments quickly denied the authenticity of the footage and reports, branding it misinformation. But witnesses across the Pacific Islands spoke of strange lights appearing in the sky at night, moving silently beneath the clouds. White one night, red the next, as if searching for something. Satellite radar later detected a perfectly circular void in the ocean S-wave pattern, a still zone 12 kilometers wide, untouched by winds or tides. It persisted for 14 hours before disappearing completely. To this day, no scientific explanation fits all the evidence. The shadow over the Pacific left behind no debris, no radar trace, no visible source. Only silence, static, and the unnerving truth that for 6 hours, a part of our world went dark under something vast and unseen. Was it an undiscovered atmospheric phenomenon, a secret technology, or something ancient stirring beneath the waves? Whatever it was, it reminded humanity how much of our world remains uncharted, and how the greatest mysteries may not lie in the stars above, but in the endless deep below, waiting for their moment to rise once more.